Hello sweet people, welcome to this continuing but yet new part of my Winx redesign project. From now on I'll be tackling our favourite witches, the tricks, and showing you their little apprentice witch and full witch forms. For now I'll be focusing on their true witch forms, meaning their witch form, their dark witch form which they get from the Legendarium, and then master witch design, and not tackle the fairy mimics, sirenics and disenchantings just yet, because I just wanted to give you guys a feeling for how I tackle the design of witches and their culture in my remake. For some reason this came together really quickly, so without much further ado, let's jump into it. In the Butterfly AU, the tricks are both the descendants and claim the rebirths of the ancestral witches who brought witchcraft into the magic universe in the first place. Ever since their arrival, the ancestresses have been planning for all eventualities, including their untimely death, before they could finish their business that they came here for. They were carefully guarding and directing the bloodline of their descendants through their insanely long life that lasted over thousands of years, so that they could then claim the consciousness of their three chosen descendants. When this happened to Stormy, and Sama claimed her, she lost all memories of her life up to that point. She doesn't know where she's from, what her family is like, if she had any, or what her life even could have been like before all that. For all intents and purposes, her life started when she met Darcy and Icy on that unnamed hilltop that they were all compelled to. She knows her name is Stormia, but even laying claim to that felt weird if she didn't know the parents who had gifted her with it. So she names herself Stormy, following Icy's lead in naming. This causes Stormy to be perpetually trapped in a base level of insecurity and unease concerning her status among her sisters, who appear to have some innate sense of purpose and know what they're doing, whereas she's just there with a vague sense of what she was like before and who she's supposed to be now. This insecurity makes her a bit louder and meaner than necessary at times, anxious to assert her position and put everybody else around her down to maintain that. There is a veritable storm inside of her, all puns intended. She feels all her emotions to the fullest whenever they appear, whether it's anger, glee, pride, sadness, or disappointment. You can bet her immediate environment gets to feel it as she works through it. On one end, it makes her extremely sociable and likable, especially in contrast to Icy and Darcy, because she's energetic and her good moods are genuinely contagious. She is the life of the party if she wants to be. But on the other hand, she's a real piece of work when she's in a bad mood, that mostly Darcy and Icy get to suffer as her roommates and sisters. It feels like the clouds over her head will never pass until they suddenly do, with the next strong emotion or thought. It's exhausting to feel this much all the time, and her main emotional journey is about learning how to feel and let go, and to channel her urges into more productive outlets. Her other self-improvement project is to get more independent of external validation, because whatever she can't get from inside herself, she's seeking in other people. Her sisters first, then Darkar, then Voltor, until the interaction with Tritanus opens her eyes. When it appears clearly that neither Tritanus nor Icy really need her anymore, she begins to seek value in herself for herself. And that changes her character fundamentally, that has been so far defined by the lack of such direction and sense of security. Her style reflecting that is a bit eclectic at the start, post-apocalyptic like, especially in her basic form. Normally when witches graduate from apprentice to full witch form, they manifest hats, and then a cape when they become master witches. The tricks, thinking themselves the most unique and the most special of their generation, manifest capes instead to distinct themselves as full witches instead of their customary hats. I have given Stormy a really big and really fluffy coat / scarf that is like a shroud that envelops and protects her, but the edges are drenched in water, as it is the weight that she keeps carrying with herself as she goes. Despite having powers over water vapor and pressure, Stormy often has details on her clothes that appear drenched in water, as well as the electric sparks that symbolize her thunders. As the tricks are descendants and not actual real recurrences of the ancestral witches, all of their powers are a little bit different from what their ancestress had their aspect over. So Stormy isn't just water vapor pressure, but obviously expanded to storms specifically, which I think is a really cool power aspect for her. Whereas, you know, in my reading, I have put her as this very turbulent person, more than violent as most readings have her. And it takes real work to calm a storm, which I just think is a narratively very fun and poignant journey to send her on. I don't see Stormy very interested in romance, unlike her peers in age. But that is not to say that her interpersonal relationships aren't important to her, or that she could grow to want a romance later in life. It is just simply not something that she spends her time pondering at that age. All in all, I think she's a real fun character, and I hope you enjoyed this redesign, and that I see you in another video another time.